there, Jen, and welcome to the Melrose Minute, where we bring you news you can use from City Hall. And I'm thrilled to be joined today by one of our hardworking volunteers, co-chair of the Melrose Cultural Council, Jim Bracciale. Hi, Jim, welcome.
Oh, thank you. Happy to be here.
Thank you for coming. So we're here today to talk about the Melrose Cultural Council, which is one of the many volunteer boards and commissions in the city. And I first want to thank you and your co-chair for your work, and to all of the council members for what you do every day on behalf of Melrose.
Thank you.
Can you tell us what the Cultural Council is and how they help the city?
Sure. The Cultural Council is a quasi-municipal organization, an agency that operates under the city of Melrose, as you know. We're a board of 12 to 14 volunteer members, and our job is basically to fund individuals and organizations with events and initiatives that have benefit to Melrose residents. So we give grants to places like the MSO, to Polymnia, to Greater Boston Stage. All of these organizations, are key cultural assets for the city. That we keep events going all year round.
Well, we're happy to hear that. I mean, it's a community of 4 square miles, and I think we have a really rich and vibrant arts and culture community.
Absolutely.
And you guys are really a linchpin to that. And you mentioned that you give grants, which obviously takes money. So some of that money comes from the state and some of that money comes from the city. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So we are a local cultural council. We're part of a statewide network that receives money from the Massachusetts legislature. Our funding comes from the legislature, $16,800. We recently were able to steward funding for from Melrose, $20,000, and we also held our first fundraiser last year. It was a game of chance. We raised about $5,400. So we had more money this year, almost triple the amount of money that we had last year.
Wow, that's great. And so how was that impact felt in terms of grant awards? Were you able to give out more money, introduce new groups to the city? How were you able to use that?
All of the above.
Great.
So last year we had about $13,000. This year, so far we've given out about $38,000. So it's almost 3 times the amount of money. In terms of the grants, last year we gave out 16 grants. This year we gave out 32, literally doubling the number. And not just increasing the number, but also the level of funding that we were able to give. In the past, sometimes we couldn't give the full grant amount, and our applicants would have to look for alternate funding sources. Now we're in a position at our discretion, if we want to fully fund something, we can. And largely in fiscal year 25, most of the grants were at full asking or full requests.
And that's great, because we know it's often our friends and neighbors who are making these asks on behalf of a volunteer-led organization in the community. And so to know that they're just doing one grant application rather than, shopping around to multiple places for funding makes things more efficient.
And it takes a lot of pressure off them, because the Melrose Cultural Council also advances money. We give money directly out rather than working on a receipt basis, substantiated receipts. We can give money out in front, which is more equitable when you think about it, because some individuals and organizations have the capacity to front the money. Other organizations don't. And so this actually kind of levels the playing field by able to advance funding on these grants.
That's great. That's really important, especially in this time when we are seeing decreased funding all around for things, including the arts and culture. And I want to give a shout out. I know that the Cultural Council took on some additional work. Last year, we had an opportunity to work with you and the group to fold the Messina Fund for the Arts into the Cultural Council, which also has hopefully made things run more smoothly for all of our volunteers and for the groups that are seeking funding. Rather than having to go to 2 different city funding sources, they can just come to the Cultural Council.
Yeah, I think it has streamlined our ability to give grants. We did hold, because this is a transitional year, we did mount a second funding cycle this spring. We were able to give another 8 grants out. But going forward, I think we'd like to get everybody onto a yearly cycle. Going forward, it's not so important that an applicant comes in with an exact date and a location. It's really the idea that matters. And I think that what we saw in the spring, there was no application that couldn't have been submitted in the fall. And I think also, that's another equitable question, that, we had 40 proposals in the fall and another 11 in the spring. And I think it's fair that all of the applicants should be in the same pool for comparison.
Definitely. And so I heard two things there. One, which is that our creative community should get those ideas percolating and bring them to you, that you guys want to hear those ideas. And two, that even with increased funding, we still have more demand than we can meet, which is both wonderful to know that there's all of that interest and ideas being generated in our community. And of course, we wish we had the money to do it all.
And I wish we had more myself. But, we're also excited about, as I mentioned, we did our first fundraiser. This is something we could replicate in the future. And so, if it means we could bring in another $5,000 to $7,000, that could be another 5 to 7 grants that we give out. So.
Yeah, that's great. Lots of exciting things coming down for you all. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about some of the things the public can get involved in or help inform in the coming months?
Sure. One thing that we do every year is an annual survey. It's not a scientific survey. We're not screening respondents, but it's open to the public. And basically, the idea is to learn from Melrose residents what they want from the council. What are they interested in us funding? And largely, it comes back year after year. People are interested in free outdoor events. So when we look at the applications, we try and keep that in mind. The other thing that the community survey does, especially coming out of the Arts Summit last year, it was looking at the ties between arts and cultural events and the impact on economic development. So we added a question to the survey in 2024 that asked people, well, if you did participate in an event in Melrose, did you perhaps dine out? Did you grab a cup of coffee or a drink? Did you visit other merchants? And what we learned is 2/3 of the people that attended an event either ate out before or after the event. And then 40% of the people grabbed a drink, grabbed a cup of coffee, or visited other merchants. So I think that, at least anecdotally, there is some connection between the events that we mount and an economic uptick for our merchants.
That's great. So the survey is so important. We encourage folks to fill that out this year. And it's really helpful to know that, like so many things in our community, it's all interconnected. And so when we hold an event that people can be outside enjoying our beautiful weather when we have it, hopefully we're about to begin that season, that draws people into our business community. So thank you for being, doing that work in partnership with them and helping to make both sectors thrive.
So we'll be starting the next round of the survey probably late summer, early September, and we'll be promoting it. So I hope people will consider sharing their thoughts with us.
We do too, and we will certainly help spread the word.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to share about the Cultural Council?
No, we're at the tail end of searching for some new members. And as I've mentioned, it's like the caliber of talent in Melrose is just incredible. We have professionals that are theatrical lighting directors, creative directors at advertising firms, people that own their own public relation firms. And one thing that we're hoping to achieve on the culture is to build more capacity, that we have certain skill sets so that we can expand what we're doing, and we have the facilities or the ability to take on new projects. And I also want to mention that we're one of the few state councils that actually bring on student members. And in fact, we were asked probably last year to talk to other local councils about the value that students bring to the council. So we have 2 students from Melrose High on. One rotates off when they graduate, and another serves a second year. So we're always bringing on an incoming junior to join us. And the perspective that they bring is just great. It's fresh. They know what's happening, what they want to see, and it's a great value to us.
That's fantastic, and I hope that the students enjoy it, and I'm sure you're learning so much from them. We are so grateful for the work that the Cultural Council does. Melrose does run on volunteers, and you are a very hardworking group of them. So thank you for what you do to amplify and support our cultural sector, and we can't wait to see what comes next.
Me too.
Thank you.
Thank you.